Welcome, Flyers fans. You're listening to Chris Mayer, Flyers Fan Mania 93 on YouTube.
All right, so trade deadline day is over, and the Flyers make two moves. And look, I didn't really think the Flyers were going to do much today, if I'm being honest with you. I kind of expected this. A move early in the day, and then one right as the deadline, pretty much hit it at 3 o'clock. So the Flyers make two trades today. They made three in the past couple of days as they made the Giroux trade on Saturday. And today, Justin Braun was traded to the New York Rangers, and Derrick Brassard goes to Edmonton. Those were the two trades the Flyers made. So overall, the Flyers traded. Throughout the past couple of days, this is what the Flyers have traded: Giroux, Rubtsov, Bunneman, Justin Braun, Brassard, and a 2024 fifth-round pick. What they've received was Owen Tippett, the 2024 first-round pick from Florida, the Florida's 2022 third, the Rangers' 2023 third as well in the Braun trade, and the 2023 fourth from the Oilers there. So the Flyers get a couple picks, and again, as of right now, the Flyers don't have any second-round picks for the next two seasons. So let's take a look at cap friendly. Let's see a couple things here. So the Flyers, as of right now, have $10.9 million in cap space. Couple things. Starting off with the Braun trade, look, I think Braun overall was one of them guys, played basically 2 years here at first pair, pretty much second pair defenseman, played a lot more minutes than he should have. If I'm being honest with you, I feel like the Flyers probably should have been able to fetch a second out of Braun with the way he's played, because I think he's been one of their most consistent D-men this year, and at times last year he was very good as well for how bad the season was. He played really good with Provorov. I thought they had a really good connection together. And now he goes to, a team that's making a good playoff push. And it would have been nice if the Flyers could have got a little bit more. My guess is that was probably their best offer. And, if it was with a division rival. So they ended up doing that. Now it stinks that Braun does go to a division rival. Because again, I would have liked to root for Braun on a different team, but now he's going to the Rangers. So that's kind of tough as well. But again, it was expected that he was gone. He sat out in the last game. I don't know if any other defenseman is going to come up. I wonder if the Flyers are going to run with the defense that they had on Sunday for the rest of the season. Provorov and York, Sanheim, Ristolainen, Yandel, and Sealer were the pairings on Sunday. I don't know if they'll be the same for tomorrow's game against the Red Wings, but that is something to keep an eye on. Maybe the Flyers could call up Zamula. Maybe they don't play Sealer. So Yandel still stays. He's still here. And again, the Flyers, they get that 2023 fourth rounder from the Oilers for Brassard. And Brassard was one of them guys that even when he was healthy, I thought he played really well. I honestly wouldn't have been shocked if the Flyers could have maybe re-signed him, but obviously that was unlikely. And the Flyers also retained 50% of his contract as well. And if you go on and you look at Brassard on here, he was only making $825,000. So half of that is pretty much what the Flyers are saving. And if you look at it, the Oilers only had 1.7 in cap space before that deal anyway. So that's probably why, because if not, they would have had under $1 million in cap space, and that's why the Flyers did that. So you end up helping out a team out of conference, and it's just a thing with the Flyers is this, like, I didn't necessarily like the Giroux deal, as most people know already. Again, the Braun deal, I feel like they could have got a second. The Brassard, I think, is fine because, again, you get a fourth-round pick out of it. And at least now, you with him being hurt and things like that, you're at least able to get a fourth out of it. If it was a fifth, I would have been like, okay, they definitely could have got a fourth for how good he was playing. That's why I was a little happier it was a fourth-round pick. But if you're looking at the Flyers' picks right now, again, they have a first-round pick in 2022, don't have a second, and then 3 through 7, they have all their own picks. That's for this year's draft. For 2023, the supposed really good draft, they have a first-round pick, no second, 3 third-round picks, again, their own, the Panthers and the Rangers, and then 4 through 7 they have. In 2024, they have the two first, their own, and Florida's. They have a second, third, fourth, sixth, and seventh. The fifth round pick was traded with Drew. That was the that 5th round pick there. That was the one that got moved with Rubtsov when that detail got announced a little bit later. So that's the way that the draft looks right now. The Flyers might be able to use those 3rd round picks to maybe move up to a 2nd in that draft. That could be used for ammo at a different time if they're looking to do some different things there. So 3 3rd round picks, and again, it would have been nice to see if the Flyers could have got a 2nd today. I would have liked for them to get a 2nd round pick out of any of the moves that they made. I know that they had kicked tires on Jones. David Pinata had tweeted that. And then this was what Bill Meltzer had said, that there was interest in Jones, but the Flyers were concerned about the injury issues with the prospect goalies this season. Ideally wanted a backup goalie as part of it. So that's the other thing as well, is that, it's confusing to me that now this is when all the injury stuff is like, oh, we're concerned about this, because you played pretty much the entire season with a bunch of guys hurt and all this other stuff. And now when the season is basically over and there really isn't that much to play for anymore, obviously I understand, and I've said this before, that guys aren't going to just lose games. But it's like, if you're looking to see certain guys, I would have liked for Sandstrom to get some games, if I'm being honest with you. Obviously, again, there's injuries with some of those guys, but Tony Androkidis, who covers the Phantom, said Urson was essentially the only one, to his knowledge, that was hurt. So that's kind of why I'm kind of confused on that, because it's like, ideally, it probably would have been nice to move Jones as well. But again, the Flyers have cap. They have cap space, current cap space as of right now. And they have 44 of 50 contracts. And again, there is talk that, certain guys are going to be signing, like Brink Cates and Ronnie Attard. So that's 3 right there if all of them sign. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, there's a lot of different things. At this point, I have to think JVR is gone. That could have happened today, but obviously didn't. And, look, again, there was a lot of different things out of today. I would have liked if the Flyers could have gotten a 2nd round pick out of Braun. But he was a really good, a young Rangers team. And, the Oilers, they kind of bolster up with Brassard, and that's now his 10th team. That's just unbelievable. He's bounced around so many different teams, and he's very versatile, can play center or wing. We know that stuff. And but again, look, it's a weird kind of situation with the Flyers, because it doesn't really. I'm still kind of confused on where they're going with this. I would have liked to maybe get some more out of these trades, especially Braun and Giroux. But again, it is what it is, and now we're looking to the offseason. So we'll see if there's any call-ups. Honestly, I'm looking at the cap friendly here, and the only really guy that I see coming up and taking Brassard's place if the Flyers switch some lines around is Legzinski, and Bill Meltzer had tweeted that as well. That pretty much the only basically guy that really could come up was Legzinski. This tweet from Bill says here, Legzinski could be a call-up now that Brassard has been dealt. He can also play wing in addition to centering. His conditioning should be back up to normal now that he's had a few weeks back in the Phantoms lineup, because Legzinski was hurt for a little bit. And Bill basically just responded 5 minutes ago to this, beyond Legzinski, that there's not much. So essentially, if you're looking at this, you have Allison, Legzinski, Jackson Cates, Tyson Forster, who was just loaned to the OHL, Samu Tuamala, John Randall Avon, Elliot Dinoyer, Owie Lixel, Zaid Wisdom, Isaac Ratcliffe, Matthew Strome, Maxim Sushko, Ryan Fitzgerald, and Linus Sandin. So those are really the only guys that the Flyers could call up by cap friendly. That's on the roster. But the only guys I really see them calling up are Legzinski, maybe Ratcliffe, if they want to do something with wing. But that's about it. So we'll see what happens going in the next couple of days. And let me know your guys' thoughts below on these moves. Remember, podcast articles, those links are on my channel. And remember, SeatGeek, Garrett Group Construction, and the merchandise links are always in the description below. I'll thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you all again soon.